Hello there, everybody. Welcome back. And I'm here to be talking about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. And this is the sequel to the Doctor Strange film that came out in 2016 and is the newest film in the ever-expanded Marvel Cinematic Universe. And this is like one of the most anticipated ones in a while. And I know we seem to say that like with almost every movie, like No Way Home, everyone was excited and anticipating it. There was a lot of talk online about Eternals and, all the diversity and the difference that this movie would do. Shang-Chi, everyone was excited for. It's like a trend. People were excited for Black Widow. It's like a trend, but this one seemed like it can really, when it comes to story and plot, could really open up the storytelling aspect of the Marvel Universe with going to different multiverses and all that sorts of craziness. And when the director who did the original Doctor Strange, Scott Derrickson, left the project, many fans were skeptical, but then our Lord and Savior Sam Raimi, who did the Raimi trilogy, the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man films, as long as the Evil Dead movies as well, and among other films, has come to direct it. So you knew this movie was going to be an event film, because he hasn't made a film in almost a decade. I think his last one was Oz the Great and Powerful. And his last superhero film was Spider-Man 3 back in 2007. And with the marketing and how everything looked, it looked like it was going to be a really great film to go enjoy. And then the reviews started coming out, and while it's not a dumpster fire, like, for example, Eternals had pretty bad reviews, but it wasn't like in the 40s or anything, but it's getting close to the mixed area. So the discourse isn't as toxic as something like Last Jedi, not even close, but a lot of people are starting to take sides on what they think in the movie. Now, to do this review justice, I feel like I'm going to have to talk spoilers. Now, I really don't like doing spoiler reviews, especially when a movie or something just comes out. I don't usually tend to do it. I do sometimes, but to make this review justice, I have to talk spoilers about the movie, so there's your warning, and it'll also be in the title. So watch the movie first before you come watch this video. But yes, so the main plot of the movie is you have this character, America Chavez, who she has a power where she can jump between different multiverses and, between different realities. And she is being chased by these creatures who are being sent by someone who you later find out to be Wanda herself, because at the end of the WandaVision show, she was dabbling with the dark arts with that dark book or whatever. And Doctor Strange originally goes to ask her for help, but then he realizes, she's the bad guy, which I have to say, I was really hoping, because a lot of people are really mad about this movie. Like WandaVision fans who like the show and the characters say this movie's mostly garbage because of making her the bad guy and a monster and all that. But when you watch, it makes sense story-wise, because she's been losing everything throughout. She lost her brother. She lost Vision multiple times. She lost her fake kids that weren't even real. And it just been building up to this, really. So the fact that people are saying this is bull and makes no sense is kind of stupid, because personally, it makes sense. And I just really love that they made, one of our heroes that are in these movies and all, one of the people that you root for, is now the antagonist, but their motivation is so well done and it's so heartbreaking that it really makes this movie another level of enjoyment, because you're ruined. You have your main character, Doctor Strange, and all. He's the good guy in the story. He's trying to protect this kid. He's trying to stop Wanda from destroying the multiverse and all that sorts of stuff. And you have Wanda, who's just trying to get her kids back by any means possible. And you like these characters because you've seen them in multiple movies, but that's where the conundrum comes, because the story's telling you that Wanda's a bad person now. She's the bad guy. And it's kind of a tonal shift. So for people that love that character and love that show and all, I understand their frustrations, but it makes sense why they're doing this. It really does. And I haven't even gotten to the other stuff, like Mordo comes back, but it isn't the Mordo from our reality. He's from that other reality where the Illuminati and all is, where basically the main reality they went to. Because after a big battle at the Sanctum Sanctorum, Doctor Strange and America Chavez basically multiverse their way out of there. And it's just, this is where all the cameos come in. Because another complaint that people were having with this movie is that this movie didn't have enough cameos, and there was so much more potential to have like Tom Cruise Iron Man or the Hulk from the 2003 movie and all this type of stuff. And it just frustrates me, because if you give people like this an inch, they're going to take a mile. Because you did No Way Home with the 3 Spider-Men, and so now they wanted Multiverse of Madness, which the story, they aren't telling it just to have random cameos that make no sense. So that type of stuff's frustrating, but the cameos they did have were really fun. Like, for example, the Maria Rambeau, I believe her name is, who was, the friend of Captain Marvel in the movie. She was this Captain Marvel in this, multiverse. So that was cool. John Krasinski, who's been fan cast to be Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic. Even if it's for a little, like, these are small cameos, but they're really nice. They're like really fun fan service. And you even have Professor X, Patrick Stewart, Sir Patrick Stewart, return as the character for this. And it was just really well done, and I felt so happy. Even with Captain Carter, Haley Atwell coming back as Peggy Carter, but as, Captain Carter from like the What If show. There's stuff like that is so well done. The fight sequences are really solid. The music is top tier. And Sam Raimi, I have to say, he really directed the hell out of this movie, because there's so many different shots and sequences that I was like on the edge of my seat with, like, how did they get away with this? Like, some of the gore and stuff, now a lot of people are using it as like it's not that gory, and there's way worse out there. And I'm thinking, compared to Disney and Marvel, I don't think 5 years ago or whatever they would allow half of this stuff. So the fact that they're allowing this stuff now shows a true testament that stuff's changing over there at that company for sure. And the fact that Raimi's able to do this type of stuff, this weird, dark type of, stuff in his movie, is really impressive, that he was able to get away with a lot of this. And of course, one of my favorite cameos was Bruce Campbell showing up in here, because that was, he has to, because he's always been in Raimi movies. They've been friends for decades, so it was great to see him in here as well. Again, this movie tells a really good story. It shows like 2 heroes you root for, but you understand both their motivations, and you feel bad for the villain. This is one of the best Marvel villains, because this is a Marvel villain that was a hero and has been built up to turn into the bad guy, and they actually did it, and it makes me so happy. In the conclusion, if this is the end of her story, because it looks like it might be, she had a great run in the MCU personally, and I just thought this was a solid movie. The cameos weren't too, like messing with the plot and everything. They made sense. They were good fan service, and they benefited the story. Like that fight sequence where Wanda basically murks all those Illuminati people. That was just really interesting, because they're basically like, all right, here you go, guys, and then just murder them all. So it was just crazy to see all this stuff. Like, I know my review sounds kind of crazy and all that, but I just need to watch this movie again at some point, because there was so much to unpack. And that's the thing, it's barely 2 hours. It's a little over 2 hours. So the fact that they crammed all this into that type of run time is mind-boggling to me, because this movie was really good. I'm real curious to see what the conversation of it going forward is, and what the box office drop and everything is, because the opening weekend's gonna be huge. We know that. But what's the week-to-week type of thing? Is it really dividing people, or is it just the minority of WandaVision fans on Twitter and on social media saying that this movie's garbage because they did something to the character that they like that they don't agree with? I'm real curious to see, but this is going to be a movie I think we're going to be talking about for months to come, maybe years, depending on how the discourse goes. And for Marvel to continuously, with over a decade under their belt with movies, to still be able to do that is really impressive. And congratulations to everyone involved, the actors, the people who did the music, Sam Raimi, the director, the writers. It's a really solid movie. And I know it sounds like I've been praising this movie a lot, but it's not a perfect movie. There's flaws in there for sure, like some moments with the like it's just hard to process the whole thing. It's not like you need to be able to see all this other content to know what's going on, and they did warn you about that. But for telling a movie as like a first time viewing for someone who's a casual fan, I just don't know if that's a good idea. Because you're telling them you have to watch WandaVision, you have to watch Doctor Strange 1, you have to watch Endgame, you have to watch What If, and it's like all this stuff, which, to be fair, they should have been watching because they have been building up stuff. But again, scattered thoughts. These were all my impressions because I had a lot to say about this movie. But again, thank you all so much for watching this review, and here are my thoughts on Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Again, truly a great movie. It's going to take me a minute to really sit down and think about it, but I just had to get my thoughts out there because, wow, what a movie. Again, thank you all so much for watching. It means so much to me. And if you want to hit the subscribe button and the bell as well to get notified on when I upload, that would mean so much to me. And comment down below, did you love this movie? Did you hate this movie? Are you somewhere in between? Or have you not even been able to see it yet? Which in case, why'd you watch this video? Again, thank you all so much for watching. It means the world to me. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye.